When I asked her about the story, it was really shocking for me that just a simple piece of paper changed the course of my mom's life and my two sisters' lives and my life. One weekend when she was working on the lawn and he was giving her a quote, and this landscape artist used the word blessed all the time instead of lucky, but he came back the next day and just dropped off a tract.
There was one time in Spain, it was about 3 years ago, where we were staying in a hostel in Girona, and we went to this ice cream place. There was a lady working there named Irina, and apparently one of the last days we were there 3 years ago, a guy named JC left a tract.
At my old job, one of the guys from the church came in and he gave me a tract. He was explaining it, and then he just handed it to me, and then I just kind of put it off to the side because I was really busy that night.
The next year we went back to Girona, so it's been an entire year, and Irina's still working at the gelato place, but we didn't go as often as we did the last year. But when we went there, she kind of looked at me and she said, "You guys were here last year." And I was like, "Yeah, we were." I just couldn't believe she had recognized us.
She read it, and she said when me and my two sisters were in bed and my dad was out of town, she just got down on her knees in the middle of the room and gave her life to Christ.
And she said, "The boy with the blonde hair changed my life." And well, there was only one blonde boy in her group, and that was JC. And so she told me what time she got off that night and to meet her there. And so me and JC went, and she explained how the tract had changed her life.
The night I finally read it, it was like, it's time to change. And I'd been out of church for a while.
And she said that it was that night where she just felt so depressed, and even to the point of just suicidal, that she had no hope. She was there by herself. She didn't have any friends, and no one really understood her or her culture that she was from. And that was kind of the day that JC left the tract with her, and she felt like God was speaking to her at that moment. And so she ended up turning her life to Christ.
And so my mom ended up sharing the gospel with me and my two sisters when we were real young, and we became saved through that. And so that tract was pretty important for us.
I'm the first one in my family to change and come back. I'm trying to bring the family with me too.
The last 2 years we've gone and visited her, and she's just still, she always brings people along for us to evangelize too, and she just has such a hunger to know the Lord, and it's just been amazing.
Since I heard that story about how my mom got saved, and I've heard several other stories, I have been using tracts pretty regularly. It's just an easier way to share the gospel than saying it, in my opinion.
Yes, I use tracts all the time now. I share with other people at work and people out when I'm out sharing with the rest of my group. We do one-on-one with others with sharing tracts and handing out business cards.
It has influenced me in how I use tracts, I think, because it was kind of an eye-opening experience. It was up front. I directly saw God use tracts in someone's life, and a whole entire year later, it still was affecting that person. So yeah, even if I'm at the grocery store or wherever it is, I do it. There's an urge in me that it's step out in faith, you have to do it, because you've seen God work and use these things. So yeah, it's not a waste, it's amazing.